Hello everyone, welcome back to Sparc Archery. I'm Coach Shaz and I have a not so interesting but very important topic for you guys today. I would like to remind everyone this is a bilingual channel. So siapa yang nak tengok dalam bahasa Melayu boleh pergi dekat link yang ni. Okay, let's get it started. The topic is how to know your draw length. Okay, so why is this important? So this is important because it's going to link to my next video, which is how to choose your arrow and your arrow spine. So before you start choosing your arrow, you're gonna have to know your draw length first, and then you can plan out your actual arrow length. So draw length first. So there's a few things that few ways that you can tell your measurement of your draw length. I'm gonna start from the least accurate to the most accurate. Okay, so number one. So number one is it's always nice to have if you have a uncut arrow, a long arrow, and do this. So the number one method is from your collarbone, somewhere around there, just underneath your neck, your windpipe, and until the tips of both of your hands. So it looks something like this. So I have a so what you're going to use for measuring is, if you have a long arrow like this, it's easier for you. If not, any kind of metal shaft or carbon shaft or any piece of wood will do. And then I'd like to put a piece of card at the end. So this card is gonna act as your what you call indicator. Yeah, so it's gonna be your indicator when you do something. So let's see, it's gonna stop where you push it. So it's easier if you don't have anyone to help you to measure. So if you have this, you can do it by yourself. Okay. So like I said just now, so what you're gonna do is we're gonna put it like, I try to make it in frame. So from your chest, and then you wanna push out and you use the ends of your middle finger. So like this. So see, it stops there. So this is about just about your draw length. It's a good way for you to get a rough idea of how long your draw length is, but it's not very accurate. So let's measure this. So from the indicator I put to the knob, it is about 26.5 inches. So my actual draw length is about 28, so this is about 2 inches off. But if you don't know at all what your draw length is, this is a good starting point. It doesn't need anything much, just even if you don't have a piece of rod or a piece of wood, you can just use the tape measure straight away, but it's easy if you have somebody to help you. Alright, number two. So number two is a little bit more accurate, but still not quite, because it's still a rough estimate. So number two is what we call measuring your wingspan. Yeah. So number two is measuring your whole wingspan. So what does that mean? So what you want to measure is when you open up your hands fully and don't overstretch, fully straight. What you want to do is measure from the end of your middle finger, from one side to the other side. So I can't fit this in frame. Yeah, no. But I already measured. From this wingspan, my measurement is 68 inches. So now there's two measurements that you can find online for reference. So number one is you straight away divide by 2.5. So let's calculate that. Okay. So my result was 68 inches. So what you want to do is 68 divided by 2.5, which is 24.8. the result it gives me, but it's a little bit too short for me. But then again, this is for rough estimate. So that's one method. So total wingspan length divide by 2.5 in inches. Okay, so number two is wingspan length in inches again, minus 15 and then divide by 2. So let's see that result. So 68 minus 15, minus 15 divide by 2. So So my results, so I got 68 inches. So 68 inches divided by minus by 15 is 53 inches, and then 53 inches divided by 2 is 26 and a half. So 26 and a half is not that far, so it gets you closer to your actual draw length, at least for me. But again, it is not very accurate, and it doesn't take into account that if you shoot a different style of shooting, if you're shooting a recurve, a compound, most of the modern bows and modern techniques, it shouldn't be that far different. But if you shoot Asian style, traditional, so what I mean by that is, you know, that techniques that require overdraw technique. So instead of drawing to your lips or your chin, like the ones that draw behind the ear, something like this, so those require a little bit longer draw length, so you cannot use the techniques before to measure. So the best technique for me that I think is to measure with your bow. So let me get my bow. I don't want to bring a full size bow here. The poundage is a bit too heavy for me to use in a video. So for this last technique is basically we're gonna imitate like you wanna shoot. So we're gonna use a longer arrow, and then you're gonna perform your shooting process like you wanna shoot. So this will get you as the best result that you can get. So again, with that piece of card, so we're gonna draw all the way until my full draw. Here it shows me, sorry, let's measure that again. Okay, so it's almost right at the edge of the arrow, almost to the edge, towards the end. So my draw length is 28. So just now I wasn't correct form, so it's a little bit off. But this is the best way that you can measure your bow. So you want to make sure that you do it properly, with proper form and proper technique, so that you can tell your actual draw length. Again, for those that practice overdraw technique, you also need a bit longer arrow. Like for me, if I do that overdraw technique, this arrow is a bit too short for me, so I would need like a little bit longer, like. Okay, so the full draw, my actual draw length, if I do overdraw technique, is about 31 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, sorry, 32 inches. So this is if I use overdraw technique. So I'm gonna need a longer arrow to test, because you see, this is already past my wrist. So if you guys shoot the type that this overdraw technique, like those Koreans, the Manchurians, those kind of techniques, then you're gonna need a longer arrow, and the previous two techniques doesn't apply to you. If you want to measure using your technique, if you just use an arrow without the bow, so let me move a little bit. So you want to measure until your palm of your hand. Okay, get as best as you can, palm of your hand. So it gets me until this, which is about 28 inches. So this is your draw length. So your draw length is not the same as your arrow length. So your arrow length has to be at least about 2 inches or 1 3/4 inches longer than your draw length. Why? Number one is safety, and then you can always see that this kind of bows, if you use a clicker, then you need that extra length for the clicker. You don't want your arrows to be too far in, or if it's right at the burger hole or the plunger button, it can get a little bit dangerous if you overdraw and the arrow drops into your hand. We don't want that. I hope this helps everyone. So remember, don't overdo it when you measure anything. So you want to keep it very relaxed, as close as you can to your normal form. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to comment, and I'll try to answer them. If you guys have any other questions as well, please don't forget to comment. As usual, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video. It definitely helped me a lot, and check out my other videos here. Alright, so See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.